Okay. So, like this is the sixth webinar, right? So,
Right.
what we are going to cover today is in the agenda. Basically, we're trying to move on to more advanced report designing as more and more people start working on the reports. There are more and more requirements with respect to maybe statutory or maybe just uh, requirement with respect to internal purposes or maybe customer purposes, vendor purposes. So a lot of those things can be achieved through report designing. So as we move to more advanced report designing, those things can be achieved. So to do so, we need to understand more on the headers and footers. We have touched based upon this in our previous webinar. In fact, on the first webinar, we had touched based upon this. But we need to understand this further. And there's another concept for repeating groups. So this is also a very important and fundamental. Again, this is on advanced understanding of Genesis, the data source, right? So only with the advanced understanding of those, you will be able to properly use this. So yeah, so moving on to this particular feature of repeating groups, which I think this is not something that we have discussed earlier. And then cross tab and footers. Again, cross tab is something we probably discussed in the third or fourth webinar, but we need to understand it with the overall picture, how it is used, right? So moving on to the headers, of course, we already have discussed about the headers. So we start off with the headers of the groups, and the first report header we use. This is used only once per report, and this can be used for, let's say, defining the name of the report. You just want to define the name of the report, you can just keep it in the report header, and it'll be there on just the first page and the first top hand side. Then there is something called as a page header. This is you can use in every report, every page of the report. There is a group header. So based on your grouping, let's say you want to group on the site or the vendor or some dates, and you want to repeat for every group. So that becomes your group header. For this, of course, you need to do the sorting in the report. And then comes the detail part, which is basically giving the detail, whatever you have designed in this report. If it is an item wise report, or if it is a item level report or a date level report, uh, or a bill level report. So whatever is the detail of that particular requirement, that is provided in the detail section. Now in your report, of course, you have seen this UI will change going forward. If you moving to latest, rather than latest, it will be in the forthcoming version. You will see changes to this UI. But currently, this is the UI that you will be seeing in your report, where you have the page header corresponding to this. Then you have the report header, which is corresponding to this. And then you have the detail, and then you have the report footer and page footer. And then if you have a group, then you use a group header and group footer. So since this particular slide is only for the headers, you will use only the header part. Moving on to the footer part. So essentially, the footer is where most aggregations are done. Yeah, we do the summation of all the records that are there before we can use in the footer, and that is what one of the main purpose of a footer is. Right? So giving you the aggregate information. So again, the same option can be used, which you can see on the left hand side for selecting the footer. Again, the hierarchy, if you call it, then after the detail comes the group footer, and there is the page footer, and then comes the report footer. Again, as I mentioned earlier, for each group, a group footer is repeated. So if you, let's say, 10 sites and you've done a grouping on a site, so you will have 10 group footers per site. Basically, there's one group footer that you set, but you will see 10 values in the group footer since you have 10 sites, right? Page footer will be depending on how many pages your report spans out. You will get it in the report page footer. And of course, report footer that will be done only once. So the most used is the group footer, and then is the page footer. Yeah, Yeah, so these are the two main used footers groups. Okay, coming to the last option, which we have not covered in the previous webinars, is your repeating group. Now, if you understand the Genesis data structure, you would know that there is a transaction, and corresponding to the transaction, there is multiple, let's say, child attributes to it. So it's a one parent and multiple child, and all the childs are well different from other, in the sense a transaction header can have just one HSN summary, it can have multiple chart summary, and of course it can have multiple item summary as well. And so there are many combinations, and there could be other summaries as well, right? So a transaction can have one HSN or multiple HSN. Same transaction can have one charge summary, one charge associated with it, or multiple charges associated with it. Again, similarly, a transaction can have multiple or single items associated with it. So since these are all independent, HSN is independent of the item and the charge, right? Well, the summary part is, of course, HSN is related to item, but the summary part is different. So that is why we use the repeating group. Basically, a repeating group will tell me what for the one transaction, what is my HSN summary. So this becomes a repeating group. The transaction header and the summary, HSN summary becomes a repeating group, right? Again, the transaction and the charge becomes a repeating group. So this becomes a repeating group, transaction and the charge summary. Again, similarly for item and similarly for any other summaries that are there for your report, right? So we'll see an example. Okay, let's go to the server and let's take an example which will help you. And so generally the repeating groups are used as part of your document reports, because this is where you want to show for that particular transaction, what is my different summaries, what is my HSN summary, what is my item summary, right? Let's see the output first, and then we can go to the report design, right? So let me just zoom into the output of this particular report. Okay. So if you see this particular report, this is for a purchase order, and there is some header information. So we will see what the header information really means here. We'll see this particular report design and we'll understand what the report header is, or the group header is in this case. So we'll see all of those one by one. And then what you can see is some item information. Well, in this case, it doesn't have the item summary, it has item detail. So these are the various items on the set that are there. So you have 3 items and the details corresponding to that. Of course, we have a summary at the bottom which says there are 3 quantity and the basic amount, some of the basic amount. This is where the charge summary comes in. So this becomes another repeating group. So the first repeating group was with respect to the item. We'll go and see in the design as well what this repeating group is all about. Then we have the charge summary. Okay, sorry, I probably did not share this particular thing. Sorry for that. I think I've shared my screen. Is it visible? The design that I was showing?
Right now, we cannot see your screen.
No, let me just go to that particular screen. Is it not visible, the design of the purchase order?
No, not visible.
Okay. Sorry about this. Let me share my screen again. Is it visible?
The PPT slide is visible. Okay, now visible. Now your report tab is visible.
So you are able to see this purchase order thing, right?
Right.
Okay. Sorry, then I'll have to start over this again. So again, as I was trying to explain this particular document report, where we have used almost all of the things that we had on the slides. we are using the page headers, we are using the group headers, we have using the repeating groups, right? So all of this will be essential for designing a document, right? So I'll come to each of the groups in the design, but just going through the output, what it means. So in this particular, you see the item information, which is the repeating group of item, and the transaction, PO transaction. So this is where you get the repeating group. Then we have the charge summary, charge information, which is again a repeating group for the transaction and the corresponding charges. And then of course we have the HSN summary as well, which is again for the particular transaction, which is the various HSNs, that HSN code that were used in this particular order. Okay. So now let's go to the design part. So things become very easy. So as I was showing earlier, if you right click on this, you can add the section, right? So you have the various sections. You have the page header, report header, detail, report footer, page footer, and the various sections. And then the last is the repeating group. So in this particular design, let me just take the full screen. Let me zoom in a little. And probably now it should be more visible. So right at the top, we have the page header, right? So where we have the logo, we have the site, and the various information that is required for a document to be printed, the CN information, the GST information, all of that. And then comes the group information. Now, what is the main group in this particular document? So for a document, always the transaction becomes the group, the main group. So I want my document to be based on my each, let's say in case of PO, it will be per PO, or per PO group, I want my information to be displayed. Similarly, for a GRC, then it will be a GRC number transaction, yes, GRC number. Like that, we will have the particular transaction as to the main group under which you want the various informations to display. So if you see this particular example, you will see that it is based on the let me modify this section, then you will probably get a clear session got timed out. Anyway, so you will see this is the order code. So for my purchase order, the main unique key is the order code. So for my order code, I have defined the various information here, right? So this is my purchase order, order codes header part, right? So there's a group header for the purchase order header, PO header. Then comes the repeating group. So as I shown you, if you right click on this, you want to add a section in a report, and group, click on this repeating group, and this is what you will get. So in a repeating group, you again have a header, a detail, and a footer. Now, as I was showing you in the PPT, that we'll go back to this PPT. Give me a second. So I was saying you that for the example which we are right now seeing, this is basically a transaction and the item summary, right? So it also has the item deal. So your data source should have a combination of your transaction and your item. Should have a combination the combination of these two things. There should be a data source which has information with respect to your transaction and item in a single data source. Only then you will be able to do the repeating group for that particular part. So if you want it for an item, then your transaction, there should be a data source which has your PO code and item. If you have wanted with respect to, let's say, the HSN, then you will have to have it with HSN and PO code, and then of course charge and PO code. So like that, there is a dependency where your data source has to have the combination of the things that you require. So in this case, it is PO and item, and based on that, you can design this report. So here we have a data source which is called the PO set item, and based on that PO item data source, we are able to create this particular repeating group. Okay. So as I told you earlier, this will all depend on the order code. So your base for this particular repeating group is the order code, right? And whatever columns that are there you want to pull from the data source, of course you can do that through the various report designing options that we have. In this case, there is a combination of category 1, 2, 3, 4, all of the various categories that are used. Since it is there in the item data source, you can do that. You can pull it through that. You can do the order rate, you do order quantity, and of course you can do calculation as well in the cells. So in this case, I'm doing a order rate into order quantity. So again, so this is something you can do in part in the repeating group, and in the repeating group you provide a summary as well. So depending on, again, this depends on the requirement. So in this particular case, you want to see the total quantity of orders. I mean total quantity of items in the order, right? So that way you just do aggregate sum on this. So in this repeating group, you get the information with respect. You can provide the header. So what do you want to see in this particular repeating group? It's like a small report within a report, right? So you can view it in that perspective. So yes, so you get that particular information here with respect to item. Similarly to charge, we have another data source which is called the PO charge. So but for the PO, what are the charges? You can get that. Again, this report will be based on my PO order code. Let me put the design 1 second. So you will see it's a repeating code for each PO order code, right? So my PO charge is my data source, which is explicitly for PO and charge, and from there I can derive my charge name and the charges charge amounts for that particular order code. Okay, and similar to that, when you need HSN summary, of course you will have to create a data source for PO and HSN. So this is what we have named it, PO and HSN, and based on that particular report, we have provided it in the report. I mean, based on my data source. So in this particular case, my data source has HSN code wise information, which is my detailed information. In case of item, it was item wise. In case of charge, it was charge wise. Right. So based on my definition of my data source, you can use it in a detail section or the footer section, whatever. So that was with respect to the report design of using repeating group and of course header. And then of course you have the footer of this particular PO order code, which is having the information with respect to various information with respect to who has created this particular PO, what are the terms, and you can input in all other information, whatever you want, which is there in your data source available. So which is the organization name that you want to, for which this has been created, who is the authorized signatory, if there are any other information, remarks, if you want to fill in some particular remarks, if you want to fill in some particular bank details, all of this can be done through here. I mean, let's say if you want to create for two banks, you have HDFC Bank, you have an SBI Bank, and you want to put in some particular, let's say, bank information, bank branch, branch IFSC information, you can do that. So yeah, I mean, based on that, you can provide all the information that is required in the report design, and then use it in your, let's say, daily document printing or whatever. That is the main purpose of repeating group. You generally don't use a repeating group with a register report. It's mostly used in case of document reporting that we use a repeating group, because this repeating group is, as you can see, it's for a particular order code. In register, you probably would not be doing so. It would be more of a flat report. So that was the repeating group. Okay, there's one more thing that I wanted to show right now, but probably I would not be able to. So there are a few things that are there, like spillovers from the previous webinars. So just want to take some time to go through those. So that probably will not do it today, but we will try to keep a separate webinar for that. And you know, I have all those things marked at my end, and probably we can have more, let's say, interactive Q&A session in that particular webinar, so that things we can have a more clear information, and we can have more interaction. So for those spillovers, we'll probably have a different webinar, probably at the end of the month or maybe the starting of next month. We'll plan that and we'll let you know. Okay. So let's look at one of the design where we use a cross tab in a. Okay, how we can use cross tab in a. Let me take two examples. So cross tab is one feature which we need to use in many of the report. Let's say in case of a delivery challan metrics. So a lot of time we see the requirement where we want to see the item size wise. So based on my item size, what is the total quantity, right? So that kind of requirement a lot of times we require. Now, as I mentioned earlier, for a repeating group, it has to have the information with respect to, in this particular code, DC wise, item wise information should be present, right? So in this particular design as well, you would see the DC item matrix. Well, this is a custom thing because this has to be created custom depending on what type of grouping that you want. So this cannot be done automatically. The item grouping cannot be done automatically for this matrix to happen. It cannot be done dynamically. It has to be done the data source, and then that can be used in your DC printing report. So in this particular example, again, this, if you see, this is a repeating group for each DC code, DC header, DC code, and you have information with respect to the item, what is the RSP, what is the amount, and based on my item, which becomes the matrix element. So based on my item, it will show me the total quantity against all of this, and then you can get the total value. So so this is, you can use for, if you want to have a document report and you want to show DC wise, item wise, and item size wise metrics of that particular document or particular DC, so that you can achieve through this. So this is a repeating group, and in the footer section you created cross tab, right? So again, I think we have all seen the cross tab webinar. We know how a cross tab report can be created. So the ones that are on the row side, so I want to show the report. The rows would be the item, the RSP, and the amount, and based on my size, I would like to see my quantity. So for size M, let's say I have 10 quantity, size L, I have 20 quantity. Like that, we want to show the report, cross tab report, right? Matrix report. So then the cross tab designer has to be used. So there are two dependencies. One, you have to have again data source, which is DC wise, item wise. And in that particular data source, you need to have your groupings done predefined. I mean, with respect to item, what is that you want to show? You want to show category 1, category 2, category 3, like that, or you want to show group group wise. I mean, in the sense item group wise. So division, section, department. So all that has to be predefined, and your data source has to be ready for you to create this matrix report. So in that case, you will have then be using that particular data source to create the size wise matrix. I mean, for each size, what is the various quantity? So this is how you can achieve this. So many of the these reports were there in D2K. Now they are well, they are not available. Let's say generically, since this item information is not available. I mean, it differs from company to company, client to client, what sort of groupings are required, right? So this is something that can be done through this particular example. You can use this particular example. You can create this your own matrix report, document report. So yeah. So again, as I was saying, using a repeating group and a cross tab, you are able to achieve that particular feature, right? Let me show you an output if I have something in handy here. Give me a second. I'm not able to execute that particular report right now. Again, this is something that I will capture in one of my last webinars, where we will be taking over the spillovers. So let's see an output which is in this particular example. What is the output looks like, right? Right. So in this, there is only one size that is there. This is the size that is available, and the quantity is like 7. So for this particular item, the RSP is this much, the amount is this much. Oh, the size is 38. The size is 38. So 38 size, there is 7 quantities. So like this, you would be able to see the various sizes. So in this particular DC, there's just one size. If there are like 38, 40, 42, 44, so you will see that the cross tab increasing sidewise. So that is how we can use a cross tab in a document report for a particular purpose. Now, another point, if you go back to the particular PPT, is cross tab in footer. So what we done, apart from repeating group in our report design, we have used a cross tab in a report footer. Sorry, repeating group footer. But cross tabs can also be used in various other footers. Okay, first of all, cross tab can only be used in footer. It could be a repeating group footer. It could be a page footer. It could be, well, it cannot be a page footer because page footer, you do not have any data. It can be used in a repeating group footer or in a group footer and a report footer. So these are the 3 places where you can use the cross tab report. So depending on what the exact scenario is, you will be using that particular footer example. So just let me take you to this particular example. This is a report which is available generically for you to see. So it basically has information with respect to the store, the dates, the bill dates, the payment types, and the bill number, right? So if you want to see an output, let me quickly show you an output here. Yes. So once we have gone through the output, we probably would come back to the report design and understand why we have used the footer, cross tab in the footer. Okay. So if you see this particular output, sorry. Yeah. So there are basically 2 sites. So you have one site over here and you have the other side over here. And there is information with respect to the various bill dates. So you have some bill dates on that particular bill. There were certain bill types that were there. And of course, based on a selection of this report, you want to see the bill number or you don't want to see the bill number, you can have the output with all bills or then the individual bill number. In this case, I have not selected any, so it's giving you all bills. So this is not where we would be using the cross tab. This is basically the group totals, right? But where we would need the cross tab with respect to store collection MOP wise. So this MOP description that is there, it could change for various stores. right? Or various dates. So since this output has cash, credit card, credit note issue, credit note received, so various MOP types that are there. So since these are something that is variable, so that is why we want to see all this information side by side, and that is why we are using a cross tab, right? So how we have designed this report? We'll go back to the design of this report, and in this particular case, we have used a request ID. So in this particular case, we use a request ID. It could be a store ID. It could be yeah, let's say a group ID. It could be anything. So based on what your design is requirement is, you can do that. So what you can see here is I've done a cross tab, and I want to see my information with respect to the MOP, amount or store collection amount, and based on my store name, bill date, payment source, and bill number, right? So based on all this information, I want to do my report. I want to view this particular report. So that is why you have used a report footer with respect to the request ID. It could have been a store group or any other thing. Now, as you would know that footer, if there are two request IDs in this particular report, then you will have two cross-tab reports in this particular area. But for a report footer, as I mentioned you in the particular first slide, that report footer always execute once. So this is basically the overall summary. Generally, we do a total and a grand total, right? So this is like a total, subtotal, and this is like a grand total. And you would see the term grand total here as well in this particular cell, right? So you see this particular cell as grand total. So report footer it executes only once in a report, and that is why you will get the full overall summary or the overall summation of this particular report. But since in a footer you can only have one row, but you want the information to be payment source wise and MOP description wise. Since you want that is why you have to use a cross tab here instead of a normal aggregate function that you do for any other report designing, right? If you go back to this particular example, not this example, let me take another example. Give me a second. Yeah, if you remember this particular example, which we started, so we have done a aggregate sum of the IGST amount here. So this is a normal footer. So in a footer, generally you have this kind of a scenario where you do a aggregate sum of only one of the columns. And depending on the cell, so you have multiple cells, you can do multiple aggregations, but not in case of a cross tab. So cross tab, you want to provide this information as per the design. Sorry, where was it? Yeah. So as per the design, you want to do it for the various, MOP types, right? MOP types you want to have different ones. So that is why you would probably use a cross tab instead of a normal footer. So again, going back to the output, this section right at the bottom here is the report footer cross tab. So for all my bill types and all my MOP types, I am getting a total, grand total basically, right? And here you're getting all my bills as per the MOP selection. So this is a classic case where we have used two cross tabs, one for a particular footer, group footer, and another for the overall report, overall report summary. So these are the two examples that you have used. One is with respect to document, where you want to create a matrix sort of a output, and here the purpose is different. Here we want to provide the summary information. Here we are providing a matrix, but in more for a summary kind of information, right? So that is why we are using this cross tab for various purposes. Again, this is a summary with respect to the MOP request ID, and this with respect to the overall, let's say, overall report. So whatever date ranges you have selected, in this example, you have selected a date range of 1st April 2020 to today's date. And so these are the various transactions that have happened for this particular store with the bill type and the bill date. So you get all the information. Then you want to see the overall total, you can see that for that particular row. So that was it for this particular demonstration. So if we just go summarize what we have done today, it's basically we have talked about the various headers and footers and how we have used it, and we just shown it with respect to a few reports, especially document reports, how we are using those headers and footers for the report designing and what is its significance, right? So a group header and a group footer, how many times it will repeat for a particular report, and the various uses of a repeating group and what are the dependencies. So if you want, just you cannot create a repeating group, you need to adhere to some prerequisites, and only then you can use a repeating group in your report design, generally used for document purposes, not for particularly for register reports, but you can do that. And I mean, not for MIS report you would be using this, but there is no restriction to it. You can of course go ahead and depending on your design, you can create that. Right? And lastly, we have used the cross tab in footers, which are like for various purposes, how we can use it, this cross tab. One is to show a matrix of all the various quantities, sizes, and then another one was the with respect to summary information. So group summary information and then the report summary information, so that it becomes we can provide a clearer and a more terse kind of a information in the report viewer, or in a, let's say report Excel, because cross tabs are something which are not to be, I mean, not particularly associated with PDF output, but these are more for the Excel output, because we do not know how much let's say MOP types will be there. It could be 5 now, it could be 10 tomorrow, it could be 20 the day after, right? So that can increase. Therefore, it's not very it's not suggested to have a PDF output for this sort of reports. But as you've seen in for a document, we are used it for for PDF output again. So depending on whatever purposes, and if you know how to manage that in a particular A4 size or A3 size, whatever size you selected for the particular report printing purpose, you can change that. The output rendering. So yes, that was it from my side. I think we already have a few questions that are, or it's more on chat that we have. But yes, I think we can start off with the Q&A session. So unless Navinder, if you want to add something to this session today that we had. Navinder, I think you're speaking on mute. Hello, Navindu?
Yeah, Kuntal.
Yeah, I think if you want to add something, you can.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think we didn't get that much of questions over here, right? Fine. So we can wrap up in that case.
So, Kuntal, just to mention this, we don't have a lot of questions, but here US UPSO retail, they have mentioned that they have not understood this thing correctly. So, what would be the further steps? As in, can they connect with their account managers and ask the question?
Let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. What we can do is we can, first of all, you can use the Q&A sections for which you can pose a question, and then we can answer that here in case you already have some questions that are relevant to this particular topic. A. B is that we already are planning to have this additional webinar where we would have, and we can have a more interactive session where we can open this up to all the, I mean, so is attending that particular webinar, so we can have a more let's say
just to understand, understand from this UPS US UPSO, retail. Actually, but they have participated in our earlier webinars itself, or this is the first time they have attended. So if we can have so chat or something that we can have their reply.
Okay, so what we can do is you can review all the other webinars from part 1 to part 5 on YouTube. All the links are already uploaded on the channel Genesis. So you can review there, and if the question is still not sorted, in that case, as Kuntal said, we can have the additional interactive webinar at the end of the series, right? So I think that should solve your question. If you could just write yes if you have heard that, so we can go ahead.
And of course, there was a third option where you can always get in touch with your CAM, customer account manager.
Right.
And he can guide you to whatever else is required, because as many of us already know that there are webinars that are there, the trainings that are provided with respect to web reports from the accounts team and the integration team. So yes.
And for any specific report, any skill set is needed, that we from our report team also give the training during the resolving that support ticket. So that's another
right way to resolve this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. Thank you so much, Nabendu. Thank you, Kuntal, and thank you everybody for participating, for being here. And we'll keep you informed about the next webinar, part 7 of the series. And we'll also be sending you the recording of this webinar, of course.